All right, we should be good.
Great. Thanks everyone for coming to this special meeting of the Conservation Commission, for which we have one agenda item, which is to review the resolution that we as a commission recommended to the town council, and we're going to agree on a final version and send it in. And Jamie, I'm going to ask you to call attendance, but before you do, could you please resend the email to the commissioners with the Zoom link?
Sure.
I'm now getting 2 requests for an updated Zoom link.
Yeah, let me just see if I can find it.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Hi, Marla. We just called the meeting to order, and we're just making sure that everyone has the link.
All right, it is resent.
Thank you.
Yep. For future reference, it's also on the town
Calendar.
website, in the calendar, and in the agenda.
You're always on top of everything for us. Oh, okay.
Not always, but I try.
Okay, so I'm getting word from Jessica Sargent that something's wrong with her actual Zoom account. So we do have a quorum here. As soon as you take attendance,
Yes,
Jamie, confirm
sure.
that. Thank you.
Kathleen?
Here.
Thank you. Pete?
Here.
Randy?
Here.
Dick?
Here.
Marla?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Okay, so as we talked about in our last meeting, Councilors Shoup and Katerina have taken the resolution that we proposed to the town council, made some changes to it, and now this is our chance to look at those changes and finalize what it is that we want to submit to the council on our recommendation, with the understanding that what we recommend is simply a recommendation. It doesn't mean that the council will approve it as is, but I think it's really quite wonderful that we have the honor to make the recommendation itself. So we've all had the chance to look at the doc in Google and do some comments and edits. And what I did with the version, the edited version from the town councilors, is edit the Google Doc, and then we have our comments on that piece here. So I think it's fairly clear to me that we are basically accepting all of the edits as is, and with just a couple of tweaks. So give me one moment, please. And thank you to Pete for your comments. I think Maggie made a comment towards the end of the document. And I'm getting texts as well from other counselors, from other commissioners. Seems like 2 people are having trouble with their Zoom getting in the meeting. So Pete's comments are clear to me. I think we just got Maggie's earlier this afternoon, so I want to look at what she's saying here. Did she add in collaborative conservation strategies? Jamie, is that what that that sort of taupe color is?
Yeah, I think that it is.
Okay. Yeah, so what's important to us is this statement that we are collaborating with partners in town. And then it's too bad Maggie's one of the ones texting me saying she can't get in. To call for town council to establish. Oh, I think we were just trying to fix this phrase. Both Pete and Maggie looked like they were trying to fix the phrase, facilitate such efforts. Can you scroll back up a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Randy, I hate to interrupt you, but what my issue was I was using an email that Jamie had sent out like a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't get in to the Zoom meeting. But Jamie has just sent a new email, and that worked fine. So I was able to get in with that new link, not the old
Funny
one.
because it's the exact same link as the last.
Yeah,
time.
I tried a bunch of times and I couldn't get in. I don't know why.
Someone is on the phone call. I wonder.
That's Jessica.
It's Jessica.
Okay.
I cannot get it to launch. It says I'm in, but it won't come up. So I thought it was me.
Well, the other thing is too, everybody should have received kind of a separate email from Zoom. From me through Zoom that has your kind of dedicated link to get in, and
Yep, that won't work either.
that won't work either. Okay. I have no idea
Nope.
then.
So I got invited you to be a panelist, so I tried to join, and it won't work. So I'm on the phone.
Did you try doing what I did, which was going on the calendar link, and then Jamie sees you come up and then she invites you in as a panelist?
Oh no, she's invited me as a panelist more than twice. I have two separate panelist invitations, and they won't open.
Oh,
Yeah, Jessica, as long as you can see the Google Doc also, I think we can still do this no problem with.
Yes, I have the Google Doc.
Okay, I mean, we're all looking at the same thing, so I think we're good.
Yeah, so it looks like to me that really we're good with everything in the document up to this last be it further resolved paragraph, with the exception of the title, that we really want to make it clear that it's not 30% of land, it's at least 30%. This is the minimum we're asking. So here it's a bit of just clarification and reiteration that collaboration is important to us. And it's too bad Maggie's not in at the moment, because can you highlight her comment, Jamie, the second comment, and to call for town council quote? What is she referring to here? Okay.
I think I think we hit. So if you look at my last comment there,
Yeah.
what about we use that we call on all levels of government to increase the tools and resources available to achieve locally driven collaborative conservation and to facilitate such efforts among all partners to achieve this goal. And then in there, we could include maybe in instead of among all partners to achieve this goal, we put call for town council to establish a coordinated and formal plan of action to achieve this goal.
remember that this statement's coming from the town council.
Right. Yeah, you're
So
right. You're
for us
right,
to
Jean Marie.
say- So it's us.
You're telling yourself.
We're calling on everybody. Us,
So
everybody
what
else.
what about that? That we call on all levels of government to increase the tools and resources available to achieve locally driven collaborative conservation and to facilitate such efforts among all partners to achieve this goal. And boom. I mean,
Period.
to me, I think it's important that this is climate related, but it's not climate related. It's almost
Yeah.
independent of climate change and the crisis associated with climate change. So I don't necessarily see the need to tie it to that personally, but that's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's integrated, but
agree.
not only about climate. Yes. Okay, so
Yes.
that's clear to me. Jamie, is it clear to you, the change here in this last paragraph?
Yes, and if it's not, I'll go back and rewatch this recording because
So
Because I did
essentially that
remember to hit
last
record
quote that
tonight.
Pete wrote with the insert of collaborative before
Yep.
conservation. And then the insert of at least in the title or the title of the resolution.
Yeah, because we've kind of established that based on the recommendations of the 30 by 30 concept that, yeah, 30% is good, but it's really saying we need to conserve at least 30% to maintain the functionality of habitat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's important to have the at least in there if it can be considered by council.
And I don't think that's a problem, to be honest with you. I think adding that, I could live with that at least.
That's great.
The other thing that you just want to put in there, just so we don't forget, if you could scroll back down to the bottom, is just you took out after be it further resolved that we, and it should say the Town Council of Scarborough, Maine.
Oh, great.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
It just reiterates whose resolution this is.
Hmm.
Nice.
I
Awesome.
got that one.
And you should add an S to call.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
Do we want to include collaborative conservation strategies, or is it just collaborative conservation? Because it's, to me, the whole idea is to achieve the collaborative conservation, not just strategies to achieve collaborative conservation. But that, maybe I'm getting too nitpicky.
You're getting into the weeds there, Mr. Slavinsky.
Well, I tend to.
Thoughts from anyone else on that point?
I think it's cleaner without strategies.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Maybe Jamie, can you just copy and cut and paste that? Yep.
I don't know if I can copy it. Oh, yeah, okay.
So now everyone can see it.
Oh, I hope I just copied that.
Calls.
hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it would be the achieve locally driven collaborative conservation.
And then, yep. And we're ditching the rest of it.
I really like that phrase locally driven. And then the collaborative too, because that way we want to bring in all different parties.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of them in town, and if everyone could be rowing in the same direction, it would be awesome.
Please.
Are we putting a period after collaborative conservation and getting rid of the rest of that?
Oh.
Or do we want among all?
No, to achieve these goals, where did that go?
I don't know, but I can do Control Z.
Hang on.
Yeah.
It said, and to facilitate such efforts among all partners to achieve this goal.
Yeah.
So there's a comma after conservation.
And to, okay.
No. Sorry. Let me get in.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let's see.
There we go.
So pretty much, I think that should be it. And I want to just sort of call on all the commissioners at this point. Oh, great, Maggie. I'm sorry I didn't see you in the Zoom when I
All
just
right, I just arrived.
okay. Well, we got
Took
we-
me a
we-
long time, but sorry.
Good that you're here because we were talking about your collaborative conservation phrase. And so we just cleaned up the big part of the what the resolution is going to be calling on.
Okay.
And then we added at least to the title, accepted all the other changes, and then cleaned up this last, be it further resolved, that the Town Council of Scarborough, Maine calls on all levels of government to increase the tools and resources available to achieve locally driven collaborative conservation and to facilitate such efforts among all partners to achieve this goal.
That sounds good.
So I'll go through, thank you. I'll go through everyone and just say if you have any comments or want to make any additions or changes, let us know. But otherwise, say you're good for a vote. I just want to do a little poll. So let's see. Maggie, any other thoughts?
Can you just scroll up a little bit?
Yep.
So that what other, I just want to make sure that any other changes. It's
Thank
the
you.
same-
So the other change was the in the title, adding at least for
Yeah,
30%.
tweets, right.
And then the strikes were made by Counselor Shoup and Katerina.
Okay, and I saw all those earlier.
Yep.
Right. Yep,
Those are really the only
ones,
things
okay.
we're suggesting.
okay.
Dick, what about you? Do you have any thoughts? Dick Harvey?
I'm good.
Great. Kathleen
I think it looks great.
and Jessica
No changes.
and Marla?
I support the resolution as written.
And Pete?
I like it.
Great. I think that's everyone on this call. So Robert's rules, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Yeah, second.
Great. Jamie?
Yep. We'll do roll call vote. Kathleen,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Marla,
Yes.
Maggie,
Yes.
Jessica.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Excellent. This is exciting. It's a big deal for the Conservation Commission to bring something to the council. And what are the next steps? So we're doing this in advance of your meeting. Do we need to send a memo or something along with this, or how do we do this?
Karen, you're actually, I'm talking. Do you want, Karen, you're actually the liaison. I'll let you talk.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, I think Jean Marie has done this more than I have. So please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, all we have to do is Jamie has now taken this, gotten your vote, give it to Karen and I. We'll get it put on the agenda. We'll do some lobbying prior to.
Okay.
Sure it passes.
Yes, that's good.
And then what I plan to do with Karen is to work pretty quickly. In fact, Karen, I'm going to put you on the spot right here, but I feel like we need to also tell the council about our idea for that ad hoc committee to really set up, you know, how we're going to move forward on this. And I know it's hard, it's aggravating to people who really want to get going. But when you're dealing with a political process like this, it's One
Sure.
step at a time, one foot in front of the other, works way better. So if you would like Karen and I talk about the committee composition, which if you may recall was, I can read it here. It's one town councilor, one person from the land trust, one conservation committee member, excuse me, one member from land acquisition, one from community services advisory board, one from long range planning, one shellfish coastal waters, one Friends of the Marsh, and one Scarborough Fish and Game. That way we get a really good cross section of all the politics in town, as well as those who really strongly believe in conservation for their own reasons or whatever. But I think if you get them all on the same playing field, it should move this forward because it's going to take money. I know I talked a lot about money, and I think Andrew's watching. Andrew and I talked a little, and I know the Scarborough Land Trust came up with a figure of 50 million. My figure was way higher than that, but that's because I'm in the land of real estate all the time, and I see the crazy crap that goes on. I didn't say that, but just, you know, if the more collaborative we can be, the more successful. So there you go.
Randy, Dick has his hand up.
Oh, yes, Dick and then Maggie.
Jean Marie, are you
Yeah.
allowing for other groups to come forward and put their name on the list?
Well, I want to keep it small. Who are you thinking of?
Well, I'm not thinking of anybody in
Oh, okay.
particular, but the idea is to keep it large so to get more widespread participation.
Well, at this stage, this would be very time limited. This is just an advisory. How are we going to set up? Are we going to have an open space committee reinstituted in town, or how are we going to do this? Or does it properly belong under conservation or land acquisition or whatnot? Because I know the big brouhaha with the council, and Karen, correct me if I'm misspeaking here, was we don't need any more committees. Staff stretched thin as it is, whatever. But of course, that was just the knee-jerk reaction, and people need to think about. But that's why I would like to propose, keep it at this level, keep it starting. I'd like to have them start right away, like July 1st, and have to be wrapped up by December 31st at the latest. I mean, that's the latest, what they recommend that the town do for a structure, a collaborative structure, or a committee, or however, to move this forward. Because this town needs to conserve land, particularly in growth areas. We're trying to do it with zoning. I think we've done a pretty good job, but you folks have reminded us that we need to be looking to the future, forward thinking, because once land is gone, you don't get it back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all that Karen and we met and thrashed this out a little while ago. And I think that's the way to approach it right now. Karen, you got anything to add to that?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. I do think we feel a little overloaded with committees. I'm also doing an ad hoc community center committee that's going to be starting up around the same time. And so we don't want this to slow down. So honestly, I think this was part of our idea of, like, we don't want you guys to slow down. We don't want to lose this in the summer mix, in the process of all of the other goals that we have, because we have a lot, but this is your goal. And we want to move it forward. And like I've said before, I'm not an expert. I feel like I would be dragging you down if we tried to tell you what an open space committee would look like. And I think if you get someone and you get it together, I mean, Randy shared, the write-ups from different towns on, did you just share that with me maybe? But I know that other towns around us they have open space like committees and things to the sorts. So I think there's many different ways it could be set up. And I, again, think you guys are better at figuring out the best way.
We had an open space committee in this town in the 90s.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of the zoning for the cluster developments came from out here. I live in North Scarborough, so I'm out here. The other, and help to preserve land under, deed anyway for some of these condo developments. But yeah, so let's let this group look at that. Dick, did I answer your question? We've been yakking about it.
No, I just wonder at what point you're going to have to go ahead and invite a huge portion of the larger community to participate.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be at the point where you're going to really have to start raising money.
Right.
That's the big
Right.
thing. So I just wonder what that point is.
December 31st. They better be wrapped up with a way to move forward.
And Maggie, did you have something?
Yeah, I just, I hope that as this moves forward, we can make the charter of that committee very clear and the deliverables and the outcomes, because as we, the Conservation Commission starts trying to set priorities and a timeline and work plans, I mean, I see a lot of potential overlap here, and I don't want it to hamper the Conservation Commission's work.
Well, that's why
it has to align. It has to be worked together.
Sorry, Maggie, I was overspeaking. I overspeak. I hate Zoom. Anyway,
It's hard to know when somebody's full. Yeah.
I know. This is why we're going to have one member of the Conservation Committee would be on this ad hoc committee. What I want the Conservation Commission to be doing between now and December 31st is continue moving forward on what you're doing. I know we're making ordinance changes and there's some other things, and you guys have finally, thankfully, have gotten back into the planning board review stuff, which is what by state law, part of what Conservation Commissions are supposed to be doing. So I think that's awesome. You guys as a group, keep your eye on that. As town councilors, we'll see who the town councilors will be named. We're going to have one town councilor named to it. I'd be happy to do it, but I don't know what the chair will say, what he wants, because it's really up to him as to who does, chairing of committees or not necessarily chairing it, but it'll get done. And we will. And what they do when new committees like this, ad hoc committees, we will give them something to work with, but that's something the council has to work out. So, but Jean Marie and Karen will light a fire. And Pete's laughing. Pete's known me since I was on Conservation Commission before I was on the council, and then I was the liaison for a number of years too. And we can light fires. I know how to light a fire. So does Karen. So, all right.
And I think that's the benefit of having representatives from all these different committees, is that there will be that tight coordination and communication back and forth. So good point that we have that. We look to having that very well defined, their role, and look forward to hearing from town council what that's going to be.
Yep.
Well, fantastic work, everyone. And thanks for your support, Karen and Jean Marie. And we look forward to hopefully a positive vote on this resolution when you next meet.
I'm going to do my darndest. I'm going to do my darndest, get a 7-0. That's my goal. 7-0.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
We're pulling for you.
Thank you guys for all the hard work.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
All right.
Yep.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Second.